Hey guys, it's been a while since I made a video. Been just busy with life and I was on vacation. But we had a pretty interesting day today. So we had a really big sell-off you can see here. We hit about negative 2.8%, I think, at one point. However, we had an even more impressive than this sell-off recovery in a day. So the one other thing that was interesting is that we had some extreme sell pressure right here. We were at negative 130 on the breath, which for reference, like negative 10 to negative 20 is pretty impressive sell pressure on most days. However, right here was the most interesting part of the day. We had a big market-wide dump right here. Actually, we looked kind of like what happened here. Actually, it looked like it was happening here, and I was kind of actually looking for the breakout. But then we just had a big drop through support, and everyone dropped, and even the VIX at that point had shot all the way up 20% too. So that was really, really weird. And we got this huge end of day rally. So be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. So kind of play catch up here. So a couple things. We had the big sell off. We had broken through this resistance line, which led to upside, which I did play on vacation. We had a nice daily 8 EMA rejection. I really wanted to play puts overnight last night, but we had economic data in the morning, and I just wasn't sure how markets was going to digest the news. You just never know nowadays. However, it was obviously not taken very well, so we had a nice red open, and then we had that big drop. So interesting things about this candle. You can see it says our daily range here is 386.21. However, if you look at the actual intraday movement, our actual intraday high was 383.38. We did hit 387.5 on a spike at pre-market, but that was not the actual intraday high. So that's what we call a phantom candle. So it throws off the daily chart. But we can look over at futures, and you can see the true candle, which I will talk about. So if we use the phantom candle, this is a massive doji, which should indicate up or down. Big thing here is this is the back-to-back AEMA rejections. So that rejection, which is much like a support bounce right here, should lead to further downside. We should not take out that daily AEMA until we wick over it or close over it. So tomorrow, if we would happen to take out 386.3, that would open up the upside then for 390.1. So kind of what I'm watching for here is we have this nice red bear channel here. We clearly established 382.1 area as resistance if you get rid of the phantom candle, which would have been basically a rejection of this breakthrough level right here. So it should push us back down. However, we broke through key 378 support, which you can see the key, how key that is here. So doing that, we should have. I was expecting a close down here, but with this massive wick back up, it kind of it kind of opens up the potential to go either way. So we could end up finding ourselves coming back down and retesting 378 and breaking through, and then we're going to open up that downside. However, if this was just a failed breakdown, we could see that pop back to 390 that I thought we could get here. So we're kind of at another crossroads here. I lean bearish for next week. I talk about it more in my written post, and I'll talk about it when I get to ES here, but I'm leaning bearish for next week, regardless of what happens tomorrow. So taking a look at futures, so we're establishing like a nice 39.20 to 39.45 range right here, just kind of chopping. So this is what the true daily candle looked like here, which is just a big bearish engulfing hanging man candle. So this should, with this double top right here off 39.10 area, should lead to more downside. With this double top and bearish engulfing candle, I would be surprised to see upside. However, we could see a 38.45 support double bottom back up. But this is a back-to-back daily 8 EMA rejections and daily 50 EMA rejection right here at 39.20. So biggest level to watch for tomorrow is 39.10 and 38.45. So I am bearish. So this is the JPM collar right here at 38.70 and 34.25. Historically, we go over the collar calls, and then by the time the puts or by time expiration hits for quarterly, which is next Friday the 30th, we are generally near the puts, not the collar, or sorry, not the calls. So for us to be up by the calls right now is kind of surprising and is a break in trend. However, we are only 11% from the actual collar, and we don't usually hit the actual collar. Like I believe here the collar was, I think it was somewhere around like 3,400 again or something like that, or maybe 32 something, but we came all the way down to 3,500. So, or it was up this way, but I'll have to go back and see if I can look at the actual numbers before I make my weekly post tomorrow. But so I'm looking for about 11% drop at max. However, I really just think we're going to get back in this 3,500 to 3,600 range by the end of next week, which is only really like a 6% drop, 6 to 8% drop from current close. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing for next week, and I'll talk about it more in the weekly TA tomorrow. So here we go. Next, looking at Tesla. Tesla continues to just get absolutely creamed. It's on a 15-day drop for negative 38.5% in 15 trading days. That is 14 out of 16 trading days have been red also, or maybe it's 12 out of 14. But either way, just an unbelievable drop. This, on average, for these drops that we've been having since September 21st, on average, it's only been a 6.2-day drop of 20%. So we are nearly double the days and percent drop. So we're coming into some support area here. If you look back all the way to August 2020, we have a support at 94, and then we also have one here at 111. Being that we broke through the October 2020 support of 129, I really am going to be looking for at least 95 to 111 next week. As of right now, this is also the biggest red week that Tesla has put in. So the AEMA has officially crossed the 200, and that 20 is quickly approaching. So I will be interesting to see what happens with Tesla. There is just no bounce in sight, and honestly, anytime, pretty much in the last 3 weeks, had you bought a put, you would have seen profits if you just held long enough. So I would still been looking for a meaningful bounce. We kind of look like we're almost in a trend like this one right here. We might have one more red week, which puts us down to this 95 before we see some consolidation. If you look back, it's been usually about 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-ish weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's been about 4 weeks of dropping since, if you go back to the September beginning of this sell-off here, before we see some consolidation. So we should see one more week of dropping most likely. So I'll be eyeing some puts, some lotto puts to hold for next week for sure. But last thing to talk about here is the VIX. The VIX had a wild day. So we had this massive bear channel that dates back all the way up here, using this support line as a projection off of the CPI high candle. So interesting enough, we exactly touched that candle today in that massive random pop we had on the VIX. It was sitting right around this area at 21.8, and then it shot all the way up here to 24.3. It did obviously start unwinding, which also correlated with the end of day rip that we had. So it's just kind of interesting to see what happened with the VIX here. We did break this bear channel that we're in, that's been in for about 8 days now. And we did close back over the daily AEMA with a bullish engulfing VIX candle. I do really see the upside on the VIX, and I really do believe that we are about to continue this leg down here. You can see on the weekly we have a nice doji candle here, but we rejected the daily AEMA breakout and recovery, and really this 39.90 area. So that really should open the downside. I heavily favor at least 350 or 360 to maybe 370 next week at the minimum, but we'll just kind of see what tomorrow brings and have more information from there. Thank you for tuning into this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like to stay updated with my most recent videos. There is a lifetime Discord link there for you guys. If that one doesn't link, just go ahead and send me a message and I'll get you guys a new one. Some of the benefits of the Discord is there's a live trading, live intraday commentary. I also do an updated pre-market with support and resistance levels every day. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit.